This podcast was generated from an article on www.seolondonsurrey.co.uk using Google's Notebook LM.
Welcome to the deep dive. So you've shared some really interesting sources with us, all focused on fake online reviews.
Right. Identifying them, reporting them.
Exactly. So our mission here is pretty straightforward. Give you the practical know-how to, navigate this stuff, spot the fakes, figure out what to do. It's about protecting your business or maybe the ones you work with.
Yeah, absolutely. Because these reviews, they have a huge influence, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know they affect rankings, how customers perceive a brand. That makes them valuable.
And therefore, a target for manipulation.
Precisely.
Mm.
People try to boost their own reputation, sometimes unfairly trash competitors. It happens.
Okay.
So understanding the signs is really key. The materials you sent give us a good starting point.
Okay, great. Let's dig in then.
Yeah.
How do you actually spot a fake review? What are the telltale signs?
Well, one of the first things, sometimes, is the platform itself giving a hint. Like Trustpilot, for instance.
Right.
They might flag a profile if they detect suspicious activity. You might see a notice, something like detected misuse, right there on the company's page, even if the reviews themselves are still visible.
Ah, right. So the platform's already a bit suspicious. That's a good first check. You shared a link showing what that looks like, didn't you?
Yeah, you can see examples in those search results. It's definitely something to watch out for, a sort of official warning.
Got it. So that's a platform level flag. What else?
Well, building on that idea of suspicious activity, you might look at the sheer volume of reviews and where they are.
Like, how many reviews a business has?
Kind of, but more about the distribution. Is it weirdly lopsided? Like, say, hundreds, maybe thousands of reviews on Trustpilot, but almost nothing on Google Maps or other relevant sites.
Yeah, that could seem odd. Why so many in one place and none elsewhere?
Exactly. It could be a red flag. Now, context matters, obviously.
Sure, like a hotel chain versus a brand new local shop.
Right. A sudden flood of reviews for a small new business is way more suspicious than for a well-known travel company.
Yeah.
But yeah, that imbalance across platforms is worth noting.
Okay. And what about the reviewers themselves? You mentioned high volume reviewers too.
Uh-huh. Someone posting tons and tons of reviews for all sorts of unrelated businesses might be, less than genuine, or at least worth a second look.
Right. It's all about patterns that don't quite add up. And you mentioned another pattern that seemed really strange.
Oh, yeah, the geographical thing.
Yeah. The idea of seeing, identical reviewers, or maybe very similar names and profiles, leaving recent reviews for businesses that are totally unrelated and in completely different countries, like Canada and the UK.
Right. The same person, or maybe slightly different profile names, but clearly linked, reviewing, say, a plumber in Manchester and then a coffee shop in Vancouver within a few days.
It just screams not real, doesn't it? That level of coincidence is, it's not likely coincidence.
Exactly. Genuine reviewers don't usually behave like that. It points towards an organized effort.
Okay, so weird reviewer patterns. What about the content of the reviews themselves?
Ah, yeah, the actual text. Look out for reviews that are super generic.
Like great service, and that's it.
Pretty much. Or excellent support. But they don't mention what product, who helped them, any specific detail about their experience at all.
But couldn't that just be someone who's not very descriptive? Or maybe, review gating?
That's possible, sure. Review gating, where businesses might nudge happy customers more, is a thing.
Yeah.
But if almost all the reviews are like that, with zero specific details, no staff names ever mentioned, no product features, it starts to feel less authentic.
Okay, so a pattern of vagueness is suspicious.
Definitely. Genuine experiences usually have some concrete detail, even a small one.
Makes sense. Then there are the ones that are just wrong.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Like when review content is clearly for a completely different kind of business.
Right, like someone reviewing, a software company, but the text is all about hotel amenities.
Exactly. Or you mentioned the example of an estate agent comparison site review showing up on some other random business profile. It's almost comical.
It suggests someone's managing a bunch of fake accounts and just copy-pasted into the wrong place.
Precisely. Sloppy work, but a dead giveaway.
Okay. What about language?
Yeah, language can be a big clue. If you see lots of reviews with, awkward grammar, strange phrasing, maybe incorrect use of English or whatever local language is meant to be, it could suggest they're using translation software. Maybe the reviewers aren't actually native speakers or even based in the country the business serves.
Right, like automated translations often sound a bit clunky.
They do. It lacks that natural flow. Another good trick related to the text.
Yeah.
If you find a review that looks really fishy, try copying a unique phrase from it, just a sentence or so.
Okay.
Then paste that phrase into Google search, but put quotation marks around it.
Ah, so searching for that exact phrase.
Exactly. If that same text pops up in reviews for multiple different businesses, well, that's pretty damning evidence it's not genuine. It's duplicated content.
That's a smart tactic, a quick way to potentially uncover a whole network of fakes.
It can be very effective, yeah. And one last thing on spotting them, the reviewer names themselves.
What about the names?
Sometimes they just seem out of place. For example, if you have a local business in an area with a very specific demographic and suddenly get a flood of reviews from names that don't fit that demographic at all.
Like the example of lots of Asian names reviewing a business in a predominantly non-Asian UK town.
Right. It could be legitimate, but if it happens suddenly in large numbers, it warrants suspicion. Or sometimes the names just look odd, like maybe two first names put together instead of a first and last name.
Subtle, but another piece of the puzzle.
Exactly. It's usually not one single thing, but a combination of these factors that raises the red flag.
Okay, that's a really solid list of things to look out for. So let's say you've spotted some reviews, you're pretty sure they're fake. What can you actually do about it?
Well, the first port of call is usually the platform itself. Google Maps, Bing Maps, Trustpilot, they all have mechanisms for reporting reviews you think are inappropriate or violate their guidelines.
Right, you shared the links for those reporting processes so users can flag them directly.
Yep. Google has its Report Inappropriate Reviews feature and also general guidelines for business profiles. Bing has a way to report concerns. Trustpilot lets users flag reviews too. Using those tools is step one.
Does reporting actually work? Do they get taken down?
It's not always guaranteed, and it can take time, but yes, reporting absolutely helps. The platforms rely on user reports alongside their own systems to catch this stuff. Your report adds to the data they have.
Okay, so report it on the platform. What about like bigger picture stuff, especially here in the UK?
Yeah, good point. Beyond the platforms, you can escalate it, especially if it seems like a widespread issue or it's seriously impacting a market. You can report fake reviews and general misrepresentation to the Competition and Markets Authority, the CMA.
The CMA? Why them?
Because their whole job is about making sure markets work fairly for consumers. Fake reviews mislead people, stop them from making informed choices, so it falls under their remit.
Ah, okay. So it's seen as anti-competitive or harmful to consumers.
Exactly. It prevents a level playing field. And you can report those kinds of market problems directly via the gov.uk website.
Good to know. And didn't the law change recently in the UK regarding this? Something about 2025?
It did, and it's a pretty big deal. As of 2025, commissioning or writing fake reviews became explicitly illegal under specific regulations.
Illegal? Wow. So what are the consequences?
Potentially quite serious. One of the sources quoted a lawyer explaining that it could lead to a criminal conviction under the Consumer Protection from Unfair Trading Regulations.
A criminal conviction for fake reviews?
Potentially, yes, for misleading consumers. And in really serious cases, if there's clear intent to defraud people, it could even fall under the Fraud Act 2006.
Okay, so the stakes are definitely higher now. That's important for businesses operating in the UK or anyone advising them to understand.
Absolutely. It's moved beyond just being bad practice to potentially being criminal activity.
Are there other bodies involved, like advertising standards?
Yeah, the Advertising Standards Authority, the ASA, also plays a role. Their rules state advertising must be honest and not misleading.
And fake reviews are definitely misleading.
Right. Using fake testimonials or endorsements is against their code. It could lead to ads being banned or even action from trading standards. It's all part of the same picture of preventing deception.
Makes sense. And you also mentioned the Online Safety Act.
Briefly, yeah. The Online Safety Act 2023. Its main focus isn't just fake reviews, but it does put more responsibility on platforms regarding harmful or misleading content generally. So it could potentially apply to platforms that consistently fail to tackle widespread fake reviews, especially if they cause harm or are part of misinformation campaigns.
Okay. It feels like there are quite a few angles now to tackle this from legally and regulatorily.
There are. The landscape is definitely shifting towards more accountability.
And just to show this isn't theoretical, there was that example of the SEO agency.
Oh, right. That was quite something. A UK-based SEO agency found to have written, what was it, over 800 fake positive reviews.
800 for 86 different small businesses, apparently, across loads of websites.
Yeah.
Between 2014 and 2015.
Yeah. That just shows the scale this can operate on. It wasn't just a one-off. It was a systematic campaign to deceive.
It really drives home that this is a real organized practice and authorities are catching up to it.
Exactly. It underscores why spotting and reporting them is so important. It's not just isolated incidents. It can be deliberate manipulation on a large scale.
So let's try and wrap this up for our listeners. The main takeaway seems to be that knowing how to spot and report fake reviews is becoming really crucial.
Absolutely. It's about fairness online, protecting businesses maybe your own, and making sure consumers can actually trust what they read.
We've gone through quite a few ways to identify them, those platform flags, weird volume differences, suspicious reviewer patterns, generic content, language issues, checking for duplicate text.
Right, and looking at the names, too. It's about building a picture from these different clues.
And then taking action, reporting directly to Google, Bing, Trustpilot, whoever the platform is.
And knowing that in the UK, you can also go to the CMA, and that there are now real legal teeth, criminal ones even, since 2025, plus the ASA's role.
So hopefully everyone listening feels a bit more equipped now to deal with this. You've got the tools, you know what to look for and where to go.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe a final thought to leave people with.
Go on.
Well, given that the tactics are getting more sophisticated and the law is getting tougher, what more should the platforms themselves, and maybe even businesses, be doing proactively?
Good question. Like beyond just reacting when fakes are reported.
Exactly. What's their responsibility in actually preventing these reviews in the first place? How do we build a system where trust and transparency are, baked in from the start?
That's definitely something to think about. The ongoing challenge of maintaining trust in the digital marketplace.
It really is.